I'm Hannah Soul Powderly, CEO and founder of Don't Quit Your Day Job Productions, and we are here today talking POPSHOP with Emily Danger. Emily is going to be performing live at POPSHOP November 11th and 12th. We are so excited to have her. Thank you for doing this today, Emily.
Thank you for having me, Hannah. I'm excited. Thank you.
Emily and I go way back when I was working with Pancakes and Whiskey, and she and I connected immediately when I first started interviewing and covering her show. She has an amazing voice, stratospheric. You're welcome.
Thanks.
And really just a cool, all-around, loving, giving spirit. She's been very supportive of everything that I've tried to do, and I hope I've returned the favor. And I'm so excited to be working with her again and talking to her today. So I kind of gave a little background, but tell us who you are and what exactly you do.
My name's Emily Danger, and I am a singer-songwriter feminist living and working in New York. And I play the piano, and I produce my own beats on Ableton Live, and I sing, and I write my music. So that's who I am, basically.
And Emily and I really connected on, the feminist front, just because we were talking so much about, I think I remember in the first interview, we were talking about Hooters, I think, for some reason. And it was, probably. But we just, I think it's so important. And that's a big theme in POPSHOP is, women supporting other women and women artists. And I really think that this is time that we put that in the forefront. And we're not embarrassed to say, yeah, we're all women and we're bonding together. It doesn't make us like crazy radical feminists.
Right.
We can just be empowered and smart and supporting each other.
Exactly.
So what do you think are some of as a very creative person yourself, what do you think are some of the challenges that people are facing today to be creative, and how do you keep motivated and keeping the creative juices flowing?
Yes, I would say, I can just kind of like go back on what my experience has been through COVID and the political unrest that's going on right now. When COVID first happened, all my gigs were canceled immediately. And this goes for all musicians that I know. All live events in New York have basically been stopped. There are some outdoor things that are happening, which is awesome, but sometimes it's not the same environment that you're used to. So I think what we've been seeing with these like online live shows and the ability to edit video, like I've done some really fantastically fun at-home recordings that I've gotten to do with my drummer and collaborator and partner, Andy. And it's actually weirdly brought us both closer together. Like we've been writing more, we've been able to send each other ideas back and forth. We've been able to, since we're at home and lost all our jobs, we can kind of focus on creating.
Must be strangely exciting to watch the stars swirl. Must be somewhat haunting to watch a burning
I think that there are ways that artists have been able to turn this situation around. And I just hope that that can translate to the New York live scene when it comes back. I know it will. It always does. So
It does. I mean, I agree. I mean, there's so many venues that I think we're already on the teetering edge of still trying to be profitable, and the bands still needed to make money, and they want to bring in, new bands. But hopefully, when you get Ticketmaster and all those kinds of things involved, there's all those fees, and it's really hurting all those small clubs and startup bands. And I think it will. And I'm hoping, just like everything else, it evolves into something else.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think there's an opportunity. I mean, New York we're full of survivors, no matter what.
That's correct. That's totally right. Yeah. And it's such a supportive, like, you think New York, you think it's really big, but actually I go to any show and I know like 3 people there.
Yeah.
It's a small, close-knitted, supported community, and we're supportive of each other. So I think like if all the venues somehow close, we will start new ones, and I think so too. Right. We'll have people on our balconies. Like, there has to be a way for the arts to thrive. It always has thrived, and it will,
And that's one of the reasons we're trying to put together, something like POPSHOP, just giving people a chance to gather together, just for the sake of that we've all created these things. We all should be celebrating each other.
Absolutely.
So how a lot of things have been happening in our city, in our culture, in our country that have changed quite a bit over the past few months. How has it affected, your music and maybe the path that you thought you were going to be on in terms of trajectory? Has that shifted at all because of it? Or are you just saying, nope, same business as usual?
Ooh, it's hard. In the beginning when all of this kind of started with COVID, and then I feel like there was a later, obviously with the death of George Floyd, I feel like there was a later movement that just went boom, boom in our country. And I think as artists, if you have to be sensitive to that. If you're not, I don't think that you're making good art, frankly. So I was super duper affected by both of those things. And I think what happens first is you go into a deep depression and you're like, well, maybe our country won't be around to listen to any art soon. So I'm just going to eat these, pints of Ben and Jerry's on my couch and watch Netflix all day because none of it matters. But then I think you wake up after a week and you realize the protests and the things that were happening in our city in particular. I think for days and days, we could kind of go out and hear what was going on in Astoria Park from where I lived.
Yeah.
You can't just sit in your house and not doing anything when all these people are out on the streets, risking their lives, being thrown into unmarked vans. I feel like as artists, we can't read those things and then be like, I'm not gonna participate. I think you have no choice. So how it's really affected me is just by being more active and being more vocal, especially online on my own social mudia platforms and much to my family's chagrin.
Well, you know what?
They're like, could you tone it down?
No, don't dial it down. Dial it up.
Exactly. I can't tone it down. So what has happened that is so delightful is so many wonderful artists that I know and love who are my friends who are BIPOC people are taking the reins, and I'm learning so much from them. Like Devin, my producer, who he's teaching every Monday in McCarran Park. He's teaching lessons to the public.
Wow.
And history that you thought you knew, but actually you didn't, and how it needs to be told. So this kind of retelling of what is going on in our society and happened in our history, I'm just like this little baby bird learning from all of these beautiful birds who are already yeah, you didn't know this? Well, here we are to tell you. And so that I think is going to have a huge impact in how this next album is going to be. It's definitely going to address that for sure. And I'm going to seek out the wisdom of other people and listen more instead of, drawing from my own experience.
And I think, and that's the whole, I know that your music trajectory, your albums previously have really been about your sort of self-reflection, your journey you've been on in your life. And you've had, a lot of ups and downs and how you sort of show everyone who's listening, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But I think you're on the right track with that, in my own personal humble opinion, with starting the new, because all of us, I think, have to do that we have to stop, sort of focusing inward and saying it's about me. So much of the culture is. And when you start actually opening your eyes and your ears and looking at everything that's going on, how could you be focused on yourself? There's so many people who share the same things that you do. And also there's so many people that are going through something that we just don't have any understanding of. You have to open the dialogue, and you have to be open to listening to those experiences, even when they're uncomfortable, even when it's awkward, even when you're afraid to ask a certain question. And is that going to be taken, the wrong way? And, I just kind of have to lean into it a little bit. And so I think you're doing great. And I hope other people do the same thing.
Absolutely. Me too. I mean, I think that's what artists do, right? That's what we do. We learn from people around us who are saying, hey, I'm in pain. This community is in pain. Listen to what we're going through and then spew it back out to the world so that other people can hear it and understand it.
War torn, broken and war torn, you arrive. Naked, I'm lying naked at your side. And I wish
You're totally right that art is in all of its forms, is such a powerful medium to communicate and to get across and to make connections without being, in your face too much about it.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I love that. What made you decide to be a part of POPSHOP?
Well, I mean, you were a huge factor in it because I just have loved you forever and admired your own work. And you've been so generous to the artists of this community with like your amazing interviews and your photographs of shows. And like, when you emailed me, it was just a no-brainer because again, in New York, it's so important for us to support each other, not just as women, but as fellow artists. And especially during this time where it's like, will we be able to gather again? And when we do, we are going to need to prop each other up so much and, advertise not only our shows, but our friends' shows so that our friends can survive as well. And just the description read the description of this. It sounds ideal. You're talking free swag. You're talking booze. You're talking, desserts and
music
and seeing
and
art. And seeing other artists that maybe I wouldn't normally see.
Yeah, I mean, one artist is coming up from New Orleans for it. So, and she's fabulous and amazing, and she does taxidermy. And it's really, they're super, super cool. I'm looking at one of her pieces over on my wall right now, a jackalope. Sort of just this really fun boutique shopping experience, and people are going to be able to meet with the artists, interact with the artists. So yeah, we're really excited. And we're also going to steal a term, phygital, which is we're going to have I know it sounds so stupid to say, but it is kind of a new little buzzword. So, I mean, I read it in Vogue. I don't know if it's going to catch on, but I'm going to say with the Milan fashion shows, they said they were doing phygital. I'm like, that's a good, weird word. I like that.
It's going to catch on.
I hope. Yeah, we'll see. You heard it at POPSHOP, third.
Yes.
It's not for third. Totally ripped it off, double. But anyway, so we're going to have, it's going to be a physical store. So if people feel comfortable in going out, I mean, again, who knows what November in New York City is going to be like, but people will be able to go into the shop. It'll be open from 11 a.m. And then we're going to have live streams, including your performance is going to be live streamed. Awesome. So people can go to dqydjp.com and they'll see the website, and it's all the Zoom links are all there so people can tune in. So what do you think about that, sort of combining those two elements?
I think it'll 100% work. I was just, while you were saying about the live links, something that actually has been really cool is the ability to connect with people that are not in the same area as you are. And something that I've been able to do is teach singing to kids in my hometown in Bakersfield, California.
Oh, wow.
While I'm here in New York, because now that Zoom teaching is like the norm, you can reach a different audience that you normally wouldn't be able to. Wow. So I'm just, while you were saying that live stream link thing, I can envision like, my family will get to tune in, and other people that support, the New Orleans artist, her family will get to tune in. So it's like, the larger the community, the better when it comes to revamping our arts economy. So
anything else you want to announce that you have upcoming, and where could people find out more about you? What are your social media and your website?
I'm at Emily Danger on Instagram, Emily Danger on Facebook, and my website's emilydangermusic.com. And I'm hoping there'll be a couple singles coming out soon for sure. Yes. I just got a new microphone, so home studio's up and running, and that's what we're hoping for. No shows other than this one to promote, so that's exciting.
Yeah, for now,
But that's about it. I'm just, I'm doing some covers with some people that I love, so you can find me on YouTube, Emily Danger as well. All over the place. Yeah.
Okay, but you got to go to iTunes and download her albums, and I'm telling you, you will just become addicted. I mean, and then when you hear her live, she's one of those rare performers when you hear her music on iTunes or online, and then you actually see her in person. It sounds exactly the same, if not better.
Wow, Thank
And
you.
it is. And I've also heard her do karaoke she's pretty badass.
Yes.
I'll be honest. She really is.
Oh,
Well,
that'd be
Emily,
so
I
good.
love you very much. Thank
I
you
love
so much for doing
you.
this today.
Thank you for having
Hopefully
me.
it was my pleasure, and I hope it was not too painful. And I'm so
No.
excited.
Yes.
Please stay tuned. We're going to have more Talking Pop Shop episodes coming up. And November 11th and 12th, you can go to dqydjp.com to hear more about Pop Shop. And we'll even maybe have a link to some of Emily's music on there so people can tune in and get a little preview of how amazing it's going to be.
Awesome.
So thank you so much, Emily, and I'll see everybody soon.
Thanks, Sienna.
Thank you.